that's unbearable, but we can see that you could put a lot of people in a small space. And the people that brought our ancestors here specialized in putting people in small spaces. The specialty was sophisticated to the point that the entire prison system is still based on these concepts of what happens to people mentally when you put them in small spaces over a prolonged period of time. It breaks them down, it changes them, it turns them into something different than what they were when they went in there at first.
And to think that you can enslave a person from a physical standpoint just like that, because all you have to do is overpower them. Throw them in some chains, lock them away, whip them, do whatever you need to do in order to force them to do what you want them to do. But they'll never necessarily be slaves to you mentally until you take some time to introduce that aspect about things. So time is something that was used to psychologically damage us so that those physical chains and so forth and the whips and so forth that we know of could be removed.
Now what I'd like to say for the young men, next to the black female, you are the most powerful and the most feared thing on this planet. And it's for that reason that opportunities are taken away from you strategically. It's for that reason that you're identified as special education children. It's for that reason that scholarships are not available. It's for that reason that job opportunities are not available. It's for that reason that the people in power take your creative energy and turn it into something ugly and then make money and then blame you. Because everybody that's in control fears what would happen if you wake up. Because if you can get yourselves together and you could realize how you're supposed to relate to black women, all the problems that we have will be solved in a relatively short period of time. Now, we've been here less than 3 minutes. And we are already uncomfortable. Now, I want to play something for you because there must be something about us that we don't know. There's the people that know and the people that don't know. There's things about ourselves that we don't know, because if we knew them, we would act different. If we knew them, we would solve things that we just let go now.
Yes, sir.
If we knew certain things about ourselves, there's things that we would do that we don't do now. And I believe it's only because we're unaware of the fact that we could do something. So I want you to listen to this, and then we got one other thing to do, and it's not going to be bad. You're doing great.
Keep the love.
Your ancestors would be proud.
Keep the love.
Nonquad Davy, he played this tape of Jeremiah Wright speaking, and it was a speech called "What Makes You So Strong, Black People." And then he was, in the speech, he was just going through the various things we've been through and how we had still managed to survive after all these horrible things that had been done to us. How we were so strong, and he was kind of like asking, what makes us so strong? What makes us so able to endure through all the things that have been placed before us?
And so all of a sudden you hear this voice that says, what makes you so strong, black man?
What makes you so strong, black man? How is it that 370 years of slavery, segregation, racism, Jim Crow laws, and second-class citizenship cannot wipe out the memory of Imhotep, Aesop, Akhenaten, and Tutmosis II? What makes you so strong, black man?
You've been castrated and miseducated, and yet you can still produce a Ben Carson and a Malcolm X and a Thurgood Marshall. What makes you so strong? And he goes through this litany of naming all the things that we've been through as a people, and then naming those of our ancestors and contemporaries who were able to somehow overcome what we went through.
So Jeremiah Wright's tape talks about all of the strength that's in black people everywhere you look is a reminder that that same strength is in them.
You break out in a W.E.B. Du Bois and a Booker T. Washington.
Then he gets to the woman. And what makes you so strong, black woman?
And what makes you so strong, black woman? How could you produce a queen, Hatshepsut, whose reign was one of the most outstanding in the 18th dynasty of Egypt, 1,500 years before Jesus was born?
You know, after you have been raped and tortured, what allows you to create, you know, an Oprah Winfrey and a Mae Jemison and a Mary McLeod Bethune? And it was such a powerful message, and it really brought the spirit of what we were experiencing there.
I believe that everybody was starting to get the gist of what is happening here, that we are the ones who were chosen to take part in an experience that is greater than just themselves, that is going to be remembered, and it gives us a sense of hope.
So we might have been in there more than 18 minutes. We might have been in there 25 minutes. But nobody seemed to be thinking about the heat after a while. Nobody complained about being crammed up.
Once you're hearing that, you start to not think about the heat. You don't think about how stuffy it is and how many people are with you. You just think about how strong your ancestors were and how strong you are.
Was that we are standing here because people refuse to die. And we are seeing that over and over and over. If we had to stay here all night, some of us might decide that life is too hard tonight. If we had to stay in this room for a week, there will be some serious problems in this room. And if somebody got sick and they had a contagious, highly contagious bacteria, how long would it take before all of us had that? And everything we have to do would be done in this room. And so people survived these things. How they did it, we don't know. But we know they called upon a strength that has been passed on to us.
A few days before, Dr. Nonqual David had instructed us to sing, to practice Lift Every Voice and Sing, because you never know when you might need it.
We sang the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And then that was a really powerful experience, being in that dungeon where we were never supposed to emerge from alive.
Which is such a moving song, and I don't know why we don't sing it more. The lyrics are just unbelievably powerful. So we sang the song, and I asked them to sing the song in a way that their ancestors would hear it, not just for themselves, but to sing it for every ancestor that went through that experience and survived that experience. At least let them hear your sense of pride and your sense of confidence in yourself. And so we sang the first verse.
That song was so powerful that the room was literally shaking, and it was just a powerful moment.
I felt so empowered by my ancestors, and I just felt like I could do anything.
That deep sense of depression was immediately transformed into joy. I think what the scriptures call joy unspeakable. Because what I realized in that moment is that we as African people are in fact a miracle.
And so after we sang the anthem, then we shot 7 harambes, which is harambe means let's pull together.
It meant that our voices were loud enough to be heard, that the ancestors would wake up out of their sleep and say, that, oh my goodness, they're back, they're here again.